fall asleep. Just as planned.
No response for hey, you're ready to yes, I'm running on a midnight train. Back to back, conscience is slipping to the end. Back to back, can't now let anyone do it again. Back to back, I can no longer pretend. Give me a break, you down. Just wanna get by my dance again. Lazy down while I have it day. Guilty Gear fans rejoice! Everyone's favorite badass has made his way to Epic 7. And he's good at two things: being the strongest free hero to date and kicking monster ass. Welcome to my guide for Soul Badguy. Alright, enough with the crazy voice, let's begin with how to obtain Soul. You'll have to take part in the Guilty Gear side story for a chance to nab him, which lasts until the 20th of May, so less than 3 weeks before he's gone for a long time or even for good. Currently there's 2 ways to get him, but when the rest of the story opens up, simply beating all of the side story levels will net you a soul. But who's got time for that, right? We could be collecting bounties right now. Well, Soul doesn't come cheap, since you'll need to collect 2,500 broken discs to obtain the first one. Most players simply play Stage 8 on Hell mode for 60 or more discs a pop, but for new players, this grind will take a lot longer. Likewise, the second soul that just became available is gotten from Badguy's portion of the side story, again needing to collect new event drops, with Stage 8 Hell difficulty being the fastest way to collect them. Equipping the artifact Torn Sleeve or Junkyard increases the number of drops you can get. Junkyard can be gotten from the side story, while Torn Sleeve is from Badguy's limited banner. For the second soul, you'll need a total of 3,350 tokens of the Chosen if going one path straight to Soul. So you might say, well, what the heck, Project? Easy only gives 9 currency. It'll take me a week to get them. That's true. Well, that's true. Which is why I don't recommend farming the event till you can clear Stage 8 on normal, which will still take quite a while, but is nearly double the speed of easy. Until then, you should proceed with the Epic 7's main story, and once your team is around level 40, 45-ish, attempt the side story on normal. It sucks they didn't give him outright to players for finishing Stage 8 on side story, instead having to finish all of the side story chapters, which doesn't open up until the end of the month. But these are the cards that we've been dealt with, unfortunately. If you don't want to grind, just beat all the side stories to get them at the end. But if you want an easy max devotion 6-star soul, you'll have to grind. If you need general help regarding a fresh new start and how to efficiently proceed with the game, make sure to watch my Giga Tips video in the end screen annotation for when you're going through the normal game. So let's fast forward, and yay! Now we got Soul! Well, what's he do? Skill 1, Gunflame. Single target attack that gets increased damage against non-buff targets and gains fighting spirit if it crits. Viking flashbacks. Skill 2, a passive skill, Volcanic Viper. Counterattacks an enemy that uses a non-skill attack with percent scaling damage based off enemy's HP. Important, if fighting spirit is at 100 at the end of an ally's turn, it extends a buff by 1 turn and is granted an extra turn. The counter can only apply once every 2 turns, and bosses can also trigger his counter when he's attacked by them. Again, though, only triggering once every 2 turns. So a really neat skill that makes him the beast he is in PvE. And lastly, skill 3 dispels all buffs before making the target unbuffable and has enemy HP percent scaling damage with a 4-turn cooldown after Molagora investment. So okay, you saw the beginning of my video, right? What's making him output that damage? Well, it's the enemy HP percent scaling for S2 and S3. It works the same as Bellona's S1 or Joker's damage scaling, meaning against practically every endgame boss he'll do a crap ton of damage to them. And add the counter passive proccing or the extra turn granted at 100 fighting spirit, and he can nuke Golem before it even gets a turn, or disable Hell Carcanis from buffing, among just beating the crap out of most of his bosses as well. In other words, he's basically one of the strongest PvE units in the game, which he deserves, being the main icon of the Guilty Gear franchise. So everyone watching this video should prioritize getting him for that reason, especially new players. Moving on to stats and type, he's a fire warrior with Chloe's stat line that is high deeps, fast base speed, but skipping leg day certainly makes him easy to buckle. Hence why I don't recommend trying to imitate Ken with a bulky counter set. He just doesn't have the bulky base stats to do so, and doesn't scale his own HP like Ken does. So how should you build him then? Well, in my opinion, you only got two routes: uber damage or all-rounder at a higher speed. The clips you've seen so far have all been uber damage. Here's my level 50 soul with no skill ups. Just like Joker, his enemy HP percent scaling is increased by one thing: crit damage. So above all else, you want as high crit damage as possible. So the optimal setup would be crit damage set with crit chance or unity set as the secondary sets, aiming to get over 300 crit damage. Everything else is mostly irrelevant, aside crit chance obviously. I made mine simply as a golem farmer. One turn is kind of all he needs, so his speed is a non-factor, especially since he can counterattack, and at level 60, he'll gain the final 8% crit chance I need to reach 85% crit chance, which puts it at 100% crit versus grass guys, since you gain 15% crit chance against advantageous element. Overall, this is the better one in combination with a CR pusher such as Tamarine or Infinity Basket user like Bellona or Silk, or even something like Kitty Clarissa. The second route will be built more like a fast Luna: 180 plus speed, 230 plus crit damage, 90% or higher crit chance, and the rest into attack. Attack is the last stat you should probably worry about, unless you plan to use Uberus, which I don't recommend. Hellcutter or Joker are your only two options in my opinion. With this setup, he'll be good for general content, or if you don't have a CR pusher or a built Infinity Basket user. But with these two setups, you'll be covered in PvE well enough. For PvP, he kinda sucks. Even with my uber damage build, with attack up and defense broken ML Ken, he still couldn't one-shot him with a crit, so if he can't do that, then he's mostly bad in the higher tiers as a single target DPS. Something like Surmia or Luna would output more damage with less gear in this case, as the HP percent scaling is hardly a factor in PvP environment. The second route is also probably a bit better in PvP, but his main problem is fire is overall pretty weak in the meta, and the main buffers are usually water or are so tanky that he can't one-shot counter them. The Dispel is nice, but it's also his only weapon I feel, which mainly only counters Kayron, so again, he's just too frail I think. Maybe at level 60 he'd be more better, but if you're using a level 50 soul in Challenger at least, unless you got Auxiliary Lots or the Saria plus Tama combo, use a different DPS. Of course, this doesn't take away from the fact that he's a perfect unit for PvE. Smilegate did a great job with him in that regard, unlike Baiken, which ironically is the limited unit that costs Skystones, aka money to get. If you want to be totally efficient, wait till you get 6 copies of Soul towards the end of the event. That way you can promote your level 50 Soul using the 5 dupes to make him level 60. In other words, don't imprint him with the copies yet till you got 5 copies. Then do it all at once so he's promoted to level 60. Again, the soul being promoted to level 60 has to be level 50. Remember that. But that is my guide for Soul Badguy. Hopefully you guys found it informative and know how to build him properly now. And yeah, good luck with the grind, my fellow gears. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. Let me know down in the comments below if you're a new player coming to Epic 7 because of the collab, and just in general, how are you guys finding Soul? Drop down those comments, boys. If Dizzy is good, I'll think about making a similar guide for her. The more likes on this video, the better chance that will happen. But that is all from me. Thank you all for watching, and remember to subscribe for more Guilty Gear and Epic 7 epicness. Yeah, my redneck.